Don't change that dial. There's a great community connection upcoming. I'm Steve Bolt in studio with Mary Kerrigan and Judy Alexandre. And you guys are involved in a wonderful outreach called Step Up Ventura. Mary, why don't you just give us a quick overview and a thumbnail of who you are, what you do, and why you do it?
Well, I'm the executive director of Step Up Ventura. We're a nonprofit organization, and we are working on providing a daycare and preschool for homeless children in Ventura County, children ages 0 to 5. And the reason we're doing this is because our mission is to stop the cycle of homelessness and trauma, strengthen parent-child relationships, and really promote the well-being of homeless children and their families by providing quality care, attachment-focused, trauma-focused preschool and daycare, meeting the children's emotional and educational needs.
That's such a super program. So needed in our area. We've got a lot of need in this area. While this is a reasonably affluent area, there are pockets of poverty all over the place that sometimes remain hidden from clear and plain sight. Judy, tell us how you got involved. Now, you're the board chairman, Judy Alexandre, board chairman of this great organization.
Yes. I have the privilege of being the first president of the board of directors of Step Up Ventura. And as Mary said, we're here to begin to work with to end the cycle of homelessness. And my interest is I've been long-term involved with homeless families and with people experiencing homelessness. And as I worked with a variety of agencies and interns, became aware of what was happening to the children and saw this as a huge service gap that we focus so much on the parent for very good reasons to get them sober, to get them jobs, to get them housed. But these children are just dragged around and experience constant change, constant turmoil, constant upheaval, and really wanting for something to stabilize their lives. And I'm involved because I personally believe that God calls us to bring shalom to community.
Absolutely. The book of James in the Bible talks about if you have faith but you don't have any works that go along with it, your religion is kind of phony. Because we can't help but help people who are genuinely in need of help. And the children, Mary, I want to talk about the fact that these children are victims.
Yes.
These children are really victims in their situations. Develop that a little bit for us and just share with us not only your vision and your burden, but some of the things our listeners can do. We're going to tell them how to support you a little bit later.
Okay. Well, it might surprise people to know that there are about 6,000 homeless children in Ventura County between the ages of 0 and 5. And it's a big number. And as you said, lots of times it's a hidden number, pockets of poverty and need. What we look at is the children are innocent. They didn't choose to have an unstable home or an unstable family. And they only know to try to rely upon their parents. And sometimes their parents are available to provide care, but many times they're not. So we're really looking at helping these children 12 months out of the year, from 7 o'clock in the morning till 7 o'clock in the evening, providing them a stable environment where they can be nurtured, where they can learn, and where they can really overcome some of the emotional impact that living in unstable and sometimes very scary or unpredictable situations. We do talk about these children in general are traumatized, not just not knowing where you're going to sleep the next night or that day or when your next meal is going to come. That's traumatizing. But also just the change of caregivers and the upheaval and some of the witnessing of unpleasant and scary situations that their parents or the adults, might be in, that the parents are kind of the innocent bystanders of, these situations. So
I want you to help develop what this therapeutic daycare and preschool you're involved with. Give us an overview of that and how that really works.
Yes, it's very important to understand that these children do need a therapeutic setting.
Yes.
Many of these children are expelled from Head Start programs. They're expelled from preschools. There's a higher rate of expulsion for these children from preschool and daycares than high school students get expelled. They've been traumatized in a way that they don't know how to trust adults. They don't know how to be able to calm themselves down. They don't have the language skills to be able to follow directions and cooperate and play well with peers. And so because of that, because of these deficits, they don't do well in a regular preschool or daycare setting. And the therapeutic setting that we are going to be providing is really lots of one-on-one contact with the child, lots of time where the child can be understood and encouraged to use words and learn about their emotions, and if they're babies, be rocked and held long enough. So it's all of those things that are therapeutic that don't happen on a regular enough or frequent enough basis in a regular preschool program.
In just a few moments, I want Judy to talk about the move towards self-sufficiency and the enabling that you do with parents so that they can become self-sufficient and have a little better future. But I want to give the website. It's called info@stepupventura.org. info@stepupventura.org. And ladies, there's a place that they can click and give safely on your website to support this program. Develop that just for a minute for us, if you would, Mary.
Yes. We are looking for funding, and there are foundations that are interested in early childhood development and education, and we hope to secure, that funding as well. But honestly, we need support from the community, individual donors, people who care about, children and want the community to be stronger in the future by helping these children now. We need people, private donors, to be concerned and be involved. And a monetary donation is one of the ways that can really help the program.
If there are business leaders and business communities who are listening today, maybe you're the founder of a company, maybe you're an executive at a company, maybe you wear a T-shirt without a tie and you're an executive, it doesn't matter. If you have interest in helping these precious children who are victims, who are at risk, please go to the website, info@stepupventura.org, info@stepupventura.org, and give a donation.
Yeah, and actually, the info@stepupventura.org is our email, and I am delighted to respond to anyone's email or inquiry. And the website is just stepupventura.org.
Okay. I'm looking at two different things here. Okay, now let me make that clear. If you want to send an email, that's the info@stepupventura.org. But if you want to just go to the website, here it is again. Now, here it is. I'll be much more careful. www.stepupventura.org. I think you got that name down now. www.stepupventura.org, and give a generous donation to support this worthy work.
And may I say something about donating?
Yes.
It's been shown that every dollar spent on quality care and education for children under 5 saves a community anywhere from $2 to $11 in the future.
Wow.
So it is one of the best investments someone can make in a child's future and in the future of a community.
Judy, talk about this program that enables parents to find and keep stable work and education in order to move towards self-sufficiency. Parents need to be self-sufficient. Many times they need some more tools in their toolkit, don't they?
Absolutely, they need tools in their toolkit. And we have many solid agencies in this community, many of them faith-based, that really work with this population of people experiencing homelessness. Organizations like Salvation Army, City Center, Project Understanding, all really work and reach out. with these families with the goal of helping them to find housing, with the goal of helping them to locate employment. What we find, however, is that most of these adults have multiple difficulties. Housing is only one of them.
Of course.
It's crucial because until the family's housed, they're really unable to navigate the rest of the system. They're really unable to keep track of days and time and weeks and transportation and all those things that are necessary. So housing becomes essential. That being said, that these agencies that really work and outreach with these families, they need support. They often experienced foster care. The parents themselves experienced foster care, experienced chaotic life existence in their own upbringing, experienced a great deal of poverty, experienced trauma within their families. The largest majority of families experiencing homelessness today had some experience with homelessness or similar kinds of situations in their own life experience.
Okay.
And so our desire is to prevent that cycle. As you talked about that working with the children and with their families, these children, as an example, start school 10,000 words behind, just a 10,000 word deficit in vocabulary for not having a place to live and talk about things in a house, because they are read to, just all kinds of reasons that they have this deficit. So they start at school at a deficit that really doesn't ever get addressed. Their parents had a similar experience. They started school at a deficit, and many of these parents dropped out. So while people are really working with these parents to help them find a sustainable job and to move them towards the highest level of their self-sufficiency, they have to deal with all the problems that they have experienced that got them to the place where they are today. And that's a huge task. While that's happening, our focus is on that child so that they are school ready, so that they have a place every day that's stable. They have their own toy. They have their own closet. They have their own blanket. They have their own sense of safety. They have solid meals they can count on. There's a routine they can depend on, so that as they become better able to begin school and to be learning ready, their parents then are freer to work on their issues because their child is in a safe place.
And also, parents are in the catch-22. Childcare is expensive.
Of course it is.
And, you know, if you get a job, you have to have childcare.
It's a vicious cycle.
And if you don't have a job to pay for the childcare, then you can't, work a job because you don't have the childcare. And so one of the ways that we'll be helping parents move towards self-sufficiency is that we're going to be providing the care free of charge to the parent. And that will enable the parent to be able to work full-time or go to school and acquire, job skills that will move them towards self-sufficiency. And that's an important part.
Picking up on that, Mary, as we talk about providing it free, we do have expectations of the parents. We do expect them to participate in the program. We do expect them, as it is appropriate, to have places where they will volunteer. We want this to be an opportunity for them to also learn school skills, to learn how to better relate to their child, to learn how to be part of a larger community that's healthy. So as we focus on that child, it is also helping to coach and develop the skills and the strengths of that parent, which also moves them towards better self-sufficiency.
Ladies, you gave me a lovely brochure that is available on the website. If they will go simply to the website, now I know the website, www.stepupventura.org. I want to just share with our listeners your mission. They need to understand what your mission really is. Everyone needs a personal mission in their life. Step Up Ventura's mission is to stop the cycle of homelessness and trauma, strengthen parent-child relationships, and promote the well-being of homeless children and their families by providing attachment-based, trauma-enforced, all-day, therapeutic, infant and toddler care, that's a long sentence, and preschool for homeless children aged 0 through 5. Now, for our listeners who maybe live in a very small world, it's I, me, and mine, and God bless I, me, and mine, and amen, and bless the food tomorrow morning. Yeah, that's a very limited life. But there are lots of families, single family parents, those who are living in less than adequate facilities, some living in inexpensive motels, others living in the garage of a friend, where the children don't have the security that Judy was talking about earlier. Describe for our listeners some of the things that you have personally seen and are aware of, Mary, in our community. Describe this community in the pockets of poverty that need help.
Well, we have seen children who live in cars. We've seen children who go from couch to couch to couch in different homes because there's no stable primary caregiver.
Yes.
We've seen children who are in shelters and transitional housing. Some of these children do also go in and out of foster care placements. And we've seen children who have situations where siblings are taking care of them more than adults. And we also have seen children who have experienced not only witnessing domestic violence, but being abused and neglected themselves.
These are children that, as Mary's saying, many of them are living in some very
inadequate
inadequate motel rooms and similar kinds of things that change, and they have to rotate.
Yeah.
So their schooling also changes. So there's really nothing in their life. Mary made reference to some of the things they witness and have experienced in terms of violence. Many of these children, and again, I want to say many and not all, because I don't want to do this broad thing that says all children.
Yes.
But many of these children, when they're together and they begin to talk, they know more about guns and drugs and crime than they do about dolls and trucks and covers and those things. And so that's what we really want for them to learn is there's a different part of life that can be open to them, and for them to have the skills to be able to move towards that.
Listening friends, just imagine these children whose heroes are drug dealers. The heroes are those who abuse other people. They're the pimps, the prostitutes, the people on the street who take advantage of men, women, and children. We live in an evil society. I'd like you guys to know that just this morning I had a text with my daughter. My 2 grandchildren who live in North Carolina just left today for about a 10-day ministry in Haiti. I've been to Haiti a dozen times to assist a great charity I work with called Food for the Poor. And when you see the destitution of the third world and the children, the plight of the children in the third world, it actually rips your heart out. And if you haven't had your heart ripped out, just imagine thousands and thousands and thousands of people living in destitute poverty in a sewer. We don't have that here in Ventura County, but we've got poverty. And we've got children living in cars. We've got moms who don't know what to do. They can't get a job because they can't get daycare, and it's a vicious cycle, as we said earlier. I wish we'd get lots of volunteers to help you guys. Do you need any specific skills in the volunteers who may come to help you?
Well, there's all sorts of ways to volunteer. We are supported by a very active board, and we're always looking for board members who want to bring their particular expertise in business or law or education or a number of things.
Right.
And so we're always welcoming to that. But we're also going to want volunteers for the program. We're hoping to start early in 2016, and it can be a range of people helping in the background in terms of events and family children events or helping in the office, but we're also going to want volunteers who can help in the classrooms and in people who can come and spend time with babies, holding them, rocking them, people who can spend time holding a 2-year-old on their lap and reading to them. It's very important that we have enough caring, attentive adults for every child in our program to get their needs met.
If you'd like to get an email off to Mary, and you can talk to Judy as well, you can go to info@stepup, I'll pronounce it correctly, stepupventura.org. info@stepupventura.org. You can get your questions answered, and I'm giving you a phone number. There's a phone number that you can call. If Mary doesn't answer, you leave your phone number, please. She can't call you back if you don't leave her your phone number. 805-665-3385. 805-665-3385. Maybe you have questions about giving financial support. Maybe you have questions about becoming a volunteer and assisting. This is a wonderful organization that's just getting underway, and we want to support you in every way we can. Judy, you were getting anxious here to talk.
No.
Go for it.
I was wondering if I could add to what Mary was saying about ways people can volunteer and can give. Obviously, we're going to need lots of toys. And we're wanting these children to, in a sense, have some things that they share, but some things that belong to them, that they learn how to care for. We're going to need people to work with them outside and have a garden. So it's a range of kinds of skills. So rocking the 2-year-old is essential. Working outside with the 5-year-old is just as important.
Of course.
Helping us, have office supplies and office equipment. So people can give from any kind of resource. People can volunteer office skills. So wanting people to know that it's a really broad range. And if they're a group or a business that wants to put on a fundraiser, we will support you in any way we can and would love for you to consider doing that. That's a huge way of giving, is by doing some type of fundraiser.
And I'm sure either one of you ladies would be happy to come and speak to a Sunday school class, a social club, do they still play canasta? I don't know. I have friends who play mahjong for hours at a time, some Asian folks. You'd be happy to come and talk to any group who's interested in becoming a participant as a volunteer, right?
Yes, we have a speakers bureau, and we have a range of talks, short talks, and a little bit longer, presentations, and would be delighted to talk to any group that's interested in knowing more about us.
Okay, before we run out of time, there's some upcoming things. Talk about the ribbon cutting open house on Tuesday, October 27th.
Okay, this is our plan, and I want to emphasize the word plan. Our goal this month, August, is to finalize and sign the contract for our site location, going on the assumption that that has occurred and will occur, and we have really good reason to believe that it will, that occurs, then our plan for our ribbon cutting and an open house and program so people can hear and see where this will take place would be that date in October, on October 27th. Don't want to say it's firm until we have our contract signed. So, but that's our planning
We
date.
understand that. Now, the best way for them to find out all the information is to go to your website.
And our Facebook page.
And your Facebook. Let me give the website first, and then you can give the Facebook. www.stepupventura, all one word, stepupventura.org. And you can get all the information about the ribbon cutting, when it's going to take place, how it's going to take place. It'll be absolutely legal because the contracts will be signed. How did I do?
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect. And if you like us on Facebook, you'll get regular updates about what we're doing and where we've come and the progress we're making and what more we need.
If they go to Facebook, what do they type in?
Step Up Ventura.
That's what I thought you were going to say.
We're trying to make this really simple.
Really simple. And then we are planning an event in the early winter, a really fun family event, a storytelling kind of event that all families can come and bring their children.
Wow.
Consistent with who we are as wanting to meet and reach out to help children, we're wanting to do a fun family event for children in the community.
we are grateful to get in kind of on the ground floor of what God has raised you guys up to do, which is to touch the lives and bless the lives of these, some of the most needy in our community, the very youngest children. All right, I'm going to give your website, your phone number, and I'm going to say thank you, and we'll be clear out of time. Okay, the website, one more time, is www.stepupventura.org. If you want to send an email, info@stepupventura.org. And if you'd like to call, get a little extra information, you want to talk to somebody with a pulse, you can do that. You won't just need to talk to the machine. 805-665-3385. If Mary Kerrigan is not there, leave your name and phone number, and she will call you back.